Hello and welcome to week 49 of the 2024 Baking Challenge. We are in the home stretch here. It is the last month of the year and we've done it. We have gone through all of these other recipes all year long, and I am dedicating December to holiday baking. We are kicking things off this month with Peppermint Crunch marshmallows. This is great if you love hot chocolate or if you just love marshmallows. I'm personally of the hot chocolate mind, but I'm really excited to try this recipe out. So grab your ingredients and let's go bake. The ingredients are not complicated. You're going to need 3 packets of gelatin, unflavored gelatin. That is important. Unflavored gelatin, please. You're going to need 1 cup of cool water divided in half, so a half a cup and a half a cup, okay? You're going to need 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. And yes, that is a lot. What do you think marshmallows are? It's sugar, guys. You're gonna need 1 cup of light corn syrup, Caro syrup, store brand, it doesn't matter, it's all the same thing. 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of peppermint extract. You can use peppermint oil as long as it is food grade. You won't need nearly as much, I believe, if you're using the oil. Watch it with that. I like peppermint extract. I know what I'm getting every time and it just works. You're gonna need 1/2 cup of Peppermint Crunch candies. So you can take a bunch of candy canes and beat the heck out of them with a rolling pin, or you can buy them pre-crunched. Usually I would opt for the former because it's fun, satisfying, and a little less expensive, but I am pressed for time now. So I went ahead and got the pre-crushed candies. You're also gonna need some powdered sugar for sprinkling over the marshmallows and a thermometer because we are doing this on the stove. Also a mixer, hand mixer or stand mixer with the whisk attachment, okay? This is gonna be a process. It's only gonna take about 35 to 40 minutes. We can do it. I'm very excited. I know this is a strange angle. I'm just trying to get all of the surfaces in the shot, okay? So I have in the mixing bowl here 1/2 cup of cool water. I'm gonna go ahead and add my 3 packets of gelatin, and then we're just gonna let that sit. You don't have to stir it or anything, just leave it alone. I did say 3, right? 3 packets of unflavored gelatin, all right. It seems like a lot to me, but I don't really mess with gelatin all that much, so that is what it is, I guess. Okay. And number 3. Okay, it said to leave that alone. Now we're gonna combine the sugar, which is 1.5 cups of sugar. So 1, because this is a 1/2 cup measuring, 2, 3, 1/2 cup of water, my, what is it, 1 cup of light corn syrup. Well, let's get that going here. I always expect corn syrup to be incredibly sticky. It's really not. It's not that bad. It's sticky, yes. It's not that bad though. It's fun, the patterns that it makes in the sugar and the water though. I think that's neat. Try to get all of my corn syrup out here. Okay. Now we're gonna do our salt, which is just 1/8 teaspoon of salt, so not a lot there. And not the peppermint yet. All right, we are going to cook this over a medium-high heat, stirring until the sugar dissolves. This could take a while. You don't want to go too high with the heat because you will burn your sugar. Also, be very careful. When you are dealing with melted sugar and it gets on your skin, you're gonna end up with some really nasty burns. So try very, very hard to make sure that you're not whisking. See, I'm not using a whisk for this. I don't want this to splash anywhere, okay? Liquid sugar is absolute amounts of pain. You don't want to deal with that. This is where you're going to also want your thermometer. We've got some rules here that we're going to follow. So you're going to be stirring this constantly until the sugar dissolves. Then you're going to raise the heat to high, and you're going to cook without stirring until the syrup is 238 to 240 degrees. You're going to have to monitor this carefully. If you go under, it's not going to do what it needs to do. If you go over, it's going to burn. It's going to turn into a solid chunk of mess. You don't want to deal with that. This is the first time I've done anything like this, so I'm nervous about this. Once it reaches that 238 degrees, you're going to remove it from the heat. Don't just turn your burner off, take it off the heat. Ask me how I know. This particular burner stays hot. This the stovetop stays hot very, very, very long time. All right, my sugar is almost dissolved. I'm just going to stir a little bit more here. And then I'm going to kick up my heat and let it go. But you better believe I'm going to be monitoring this the entire time. Now, once we pull this off of the heat, we're going to turn the mixer on low, and we're going to slowly pour this into the gelatin, okay? And it does say the softened gelatin, but I was told just to set it aside. Now I'm wondering if I should have mixed this just a little. So I'm just gonna give it a half stir just to get it going here. And yeah, I'm gonna scrape the sides. So maybe don't just throw your gelatin in and set it aside like the recipe said to do. Maybe you should mix it up. Ignore me, ignore the recipe, mix your gelatin. It needs to be getting softened. Maybe I misread the directions. Wouldn't be the first time. All right. I'm just going to leave that right there. And yeah, my sugar is melted now. Totally dissolved. Here we go. I'm going to kick this up. I'm going to turn this on. And let's see where we're at. I'm at 139, so it's got a ways to go. Needs like 100 more degrees. It's going rapidly though. It's moving quick. Said not to stir. It said not to stir. It's so hard for me. All right, we're at 152. It's climbing steadily. Make sure you're not resting it on the bottom of the pan or the sides. You're going to try to keep that tip in the middle. We're at 171. Come on. That might be 216, 219, 220. All right. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm going to go ahead and pull it. Raising this up. Kicking it on. Too slow. And I'm going to maybe a little faster than that. And I'm just going to slowly start adding this in here. left my burner on. Oh no. My bowl wasn't locked all the way. And my whisk is not hitting the bottom. Because if it's not one thing, it's going to be another. Let me see if I grabbed the wrong whisk, which I am now guessing I did. No, I didn't. I did not grab the wrong one. Let's see if my old one will do a little bit better reach. Because that is just not, that's not meeting that gelatin at the bottom. So let's see if I can swap it out. Make a big old mess here. That's going to be too much. There we go. That one's going to reach the bottom. Okay. With the mixture on low speed, pour the sugar syrup. Whip, increase speed to high. And we're going to whip this until it is fluffy and smooth. That is hot. It's okay. Now I'm kind of wondering if mine is just going to be a fail. So thick and fluffy. Add the peppermint oil towards the end of the mixing time. And then we're supposed to add the peppermint once everything is at the end. Okay, I'm going to step back a little bit because it is a little, it's a little extra there. So far nothing is happening, so I'm starting to worry a little. So this should take 3 to 10 minutes. Hey Google, set a 8-minute timer for marshmallows.
Okay, an 8-minute timer called Marshmallows. Starting now.
It is starting to turn a slightly different color, so getting frothy on the top while I let it just do its thing. I wonder if this is a medium speed. Let me kick it up a little more. I'll start to get the rest of this mess cleaned up. I'm gonna have sugar all over everything. While you are waiting for your mixer to do its work, you can go ahead and prepare the pan. You need a 9x13 glass or ceramic pan, and you're gonna wanna grease that really well. I'm just gonna use cooking spray because that's what I have and that's what I'm gonna use. So get that ready to go, because once these are ready, we're gonna pour them in there, and then we're going to use a wet spatula to kind of make them pretty. I'm gonna say that mine is almost fully whipped here. I think there's a little bit room left to go. Because it is not holding its shape. Let me put it back up on high there.
Your Marshmallows timer is...
Now I'm starting to see it holding its shape a little bit more and looking more like a marshmallow cream. So mine needed to go a little bit longer. I couldn't get it to that 240-degree temperature. Mine was stuck at 220 and it was starting to smell strange. So I went ahead and pulled it off, which means I just have to whip mine a little bit longer. All right, let's see if it's gonna hold its shape now. A little bit more. Gonna really get in there and pick it up on high. It's almost like a meringue. It's almost like you're making meringue. You don't want it to turn into a hard ball inside of your whisk. Don't let it get that far. But you do want it to hold its shape and not be liquid. So it's a fine line, and you're just gonna have to stand here and stare at it until it reaches that consistency. Once it does reach the consistency, you're gonna turn your mixer down to low. You're gonna add in some of your peppermint crunches and then mix it just enough to incorporate it. Then we're gonna get it into our pan. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put in some of my candy mixture here. I'm gonna save some to sprinkle on top too. Okay, good enough for me. Mine may not set up. I think that since I had a temperature, I mean, there's some stiff peaks there though. All right, let me get these into the pan. Okay, this is definitely like a marshmallow fluff. Definitely, definitely. Honestly, I almost wish that I had gone with a larger pan to have slightly shallower marshmallow squares. You will be able to cut these in whatever size you want. So you can do 1-inch squares, 2-inch squares is what they recommend. I can see like making these and then cutting them and putting them in a gift basket of hot chocolate mix. I think that would be super cute. I may have to do that. If you're on my holiday list, don't be surprised if you get that. Okay, so it did say that you may have to like fix the top, but honestly, I think if I just give mine a quick little howdy doody here, then it should be, yeah, that's pretty great. I think I just dropped a piece of peppermint. I gotta get it before the dog or the cats do. These are cute. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with this. As long as they turn out and I can actually cut them. Mine will probably have to sit overnight. That's okay. Okay. Next up, let's get the powdered sugar done. Okay, it does say to sprinkle powdered sugar. The best way to sprinkle powdered sugar anytime is with a mesh strainer. So I'm just going to add a little bit in there, and then I'm going to gently tap over the top. It's going to make a mess on the counter. That's okay. I think if I had done this in like a jelly roll pan instead, I could have gotten out my tiny cookie cutters and cut them into some festive holiday shapes. That would have been really cool. So that's that. Now the recipe says to let them sit for several hours to set or even overnight, and then you can cut them into squares or you can use a small cookie cutter and cut them into shapes. I think because mine are so deep, I'm gonna go with squares, but I will be making this again for the cookie boxes that I hand out to friends and family. And I think I'll use a jelly roll pan instead so that they can be thinner, and I can use my festive holiday cookie cutters and cut them into fun shapes. So I'll see you back probably tomorrow and we can see if mine set up, since I did run into some problems, and how they taste. I may have gone a little heavy on the peppermint because it just kind of poured right out. Oops, fingers crossed. So they've been sitting out for like 2 days and my candy's liquefied, but it is a marshmallow consistency for sure. So it's wibbly, it's wobbly, it smells heavily of peppermint. I don't think I'm gonna like the flavor. And honestly, I'm not a huge marshmallow person anyways. I like freeze-dried marshmallows, but actual sticky, wobbly marshmallows is not my idea of a good time. But taking one for the team, you guys. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna, yeah. Oh, that's minty. It's minty. It has I made marshmallows, you guys. I made marshmallows. That has got a lot of peppermint in it. I could see it absolutely going well with a nice big glass of hot chocolate. Yeah, I think that's what I'll try next. But yay, we made marshmallows. Well, that is it for week 49. 49, the first week of December, we made peppermint crunch marshmallows. My marshmallows are not crunchy. My candy dissolved, which is a little freaky, but whatever. I also didn't get my sugar mixture up to temperature. If you remember, I had a problem with that. So I'm going to try this again because I have an idea for some different flavor options. And I would like to get crazy and get wild and make more marshmallows. So I hope that you were able to have some successful marshmallow making for all of your future hot chocolate endeavors. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. We're going to have even more holiday baking next weekend. Go to the Facebook page because on Wednesday I will release the ingredient list for what we will be making. That way you can decide if you would like to bake along and you have plenty of time to get your shopping done. Until then, happy hot chocolate.